Oh, they're stainless.
This is
I
stainless?
cannot believe it. Yeah, believe me.
How?
That's what it's supposed to do. This doesn't do anything. It's stainless steel. Oh, shit. I can't make a golf car this cheap.
No, a golf cart starts at like $6 grand. This is $1,200.
Shit, the Thunder's worth more than $800. I can't believe this thing.
Hey Sandy, what do you got to say?
So far I'm having fun. Can you get rid of that sign?
And I can get, you don't even have to move your seat up, I can get.
Really?
Yeah, I can pop right back here.
Oh my God, that shove over. I want to see
No,
if I
two
can
people,
actually-
two people can definitely fit here. Fans that can turn on, and then there's like a sunroof here that pops up to scoop air in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look what we got.
This is pretty exciting, right?
That's right.
So, this is the cheapest all-new electric car you can buy in the entire world. I got it off Alibaba, and it's called a Changli. I believe it's called a Changli Freeman. Now, Sandy, just so you know, this thing cost $930 for the base, plus $300 for the batteries, which are just regular lead acid batteries you'll see. So, the total cost of this car was only about $1,200. Now, by shipping and everything, the price went up, but for the car itself, $1,200.
So we're going to have a look,
Yeah.
but I can guarantee you one thing: we could not make this in the U.S. for $800, and that's a fact.
Let's
Hey,
start
wait a
looking
minute.
at
Has this got a
everything.
back door?
Yeah, go ahead, open it. So, hey, look, it's got a
Oh
back
my God!
door.
And it's got a spare tire.
Yeah, so
Oh, for God's sake, this is getting worse and worse. How am I supposed to? I can't. I'm just trying to figure out. Is that aluminum or is that zinc die cast? It's a die casting for sure, but how in the hell? How do you do that? How do they do that? You know what? If they wanted to make it cheaper, they could just have it like the old-fashioned knockoffs and just
yeah, well,
spin
it
them
could
on
have been
if
like
they
a
wanted.
cheap steel wheel, but it's not.
No, it's not at
And
all.
it's 4 lugs. Like even a Smart only has 3 lugs. But
This is called kerfing, and normally what you do is you'd kind of like build that in, but obviously there was someone who didn't have enough to do on the shop floor, and so they kerfed it. Yeah, but nothing wrong with that. It keeps the water out, and that's
Yeah.
what really. So this is acting like the ditch, and then you've got the outside seal here that allows it to get out.
right.
So, I mean, everywhere you look, it's like clever, and how in the hell did they get it for that money?
I don't know, but I want to show you this.
Oh,
So this folds down.
look at this!
That's from the factory, this footprint, by the way.
Oh, well,
And then there's a piece of, kind of flimsy sheet metal, but under here is everything that drives it. And you'll notice there's an actual differential.
so this is a very inexpensive rear suspension,
Yeah.
but it's not much different than what you might find on a pickup truck. It's got only one stabilizer bar because really and truly, I could use my arm to probably stabilize this thing.
Yeah.
So I am very, very impressed.
I don't even know how much there. We should open this up and see what's under there. We'll get a screwdriver. Yeah. So what's under here exactly?
Well, this looks like just a great big giant junction block.
Yeah.
So all the wires are coming in here, and you can see it's going into the what do you call it?
Controller? Motor
and
controller.
Then, and then over here we've got the inverter.
Yeah.
So I've never seen one quite like that, but there's no reason why this is a bad idea. It looks a little ratty, but at the end of the day, it does the job, and it does it in a nice tight package. That's as far back as it's going to go. So for me, it's a little bit tight on the knees, but I could live with it if somebody gave me this, and this must
That's
be
the hood.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
which
we're
we'll look
gonna
into that
go
in
and
a
look
minute.
at that in a minute.
Oh, and check this out. Okay, so this also came with the car. So
What is it?
It's a radio, and not only radio, it's got a USB player. So
you
it
kidding?
plays songs on a USB drive. You can just flip through them. It has a working backup camera, which that's the part that kind of just really astounded me.
I don't know. You know, I'm looking at the gaps
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first one where it's odd,
Yeah.
but I mean the gaps on the door are better than what Tesla's got.
I don't,
What's
I don't
this
know.
thing
I
for?
came to you. That's a heater. It's got
Oh
a
my
under
God.
there. There's a little heater unit.
What is
it
it?
must be like a resistive heater and a blower. And look, you don't see bare metal anywhere. There's
No,
headliner.
you don't. You got a headliner.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this shit.
Fans.
What's this?
They're fans.
Ah. Hey, you know what? I was feeling kind of warm myself, and now, oh, this is.
And that's like a little air catching sunroof guy. So yeah, if you
How did
squeeze
this-
these guys, it drops down and snaps in.
I
Look, you
cannot-
got a little.
For God's sake, does it have a mirror on the other side?
yes, it
Oh
does.
my God!
And we thought this steering wheel looks like a dead ringer for a Ford wheel, like a Ford Focus wheel, and it makes some funny sounds there. 1 speed, even though the gauge thing is, and it
Look
doesn't.
at- how
doesn't
fast
park
does this thing go?
automatically.
What
Like
is it?
20 to 25 somewhere there. I've had it up to 23. You got
Yeah.
a little nice slidey window guy thing that slides and
Yeah.
unlocks.
So this was better than my Morgan. I used to have a Morgan Super Sport.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and my slider, if you bolted the doors didn't come with a window, so you kind of like bolted them on, and then you had a little slidey thing, but it was made out of plexiglass. This is made out of real glass.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a lock. So what? Let's see what we got here.
So
The other thing is I really like the fact that it sounds nice when it closes. This is not a heavy door, but it really sounds good.
Yeah.
So this is called lace, and this is the, oh, no, it's not. This has been put on and then hand wiped.
the headlights are using the same thing, right? Here, I'll shut the lights.
Kidding me? This can't be right.
And no, look, they're projector lights.
Look, I'm telling you, here's the tail for,
Like they're projector lamps too, which is crazy.
yeah, the little teeny weld here is a spot weld.
Oh, okay.
And this looks manual. That, I can't tell what's going on there because it's been polished. It's got, actually, you know what? Here, just have a look at this, Tyler. Okay, so it's a little dirty, but look at the paint job. I mean, really? This is not a bad paint job.
So this was some liquid rubber that was just wiped on?
Yeah, this is like finishing a bathtub. When you make flush glass, this is one way to do. I've never seen anybody do it quite like this, but this is one way of making it happen.
This I think is pretty remarkable too. So they didn't finish it like a trunk like they could have, but look at the steering setup in there. Look what it is.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's a rack and pinion.
We're gonna
setup.
have to, and it's got half links for a suspension.
So the batteries are, design-wise, they're in the perfect spot because they're under the seat. Well, let's grab a little nut. Grab this nut. And it's just like a regular, this plug is just like the one on the back of like a PC.
This is like really cool, way cool.
So here's, that's them.
They look like marine batteries, and
maybe.
and maybe they are.
Like
I
deep
don't-
cycle marine batteries?
Right, yeah.
The dash unit, the speedo almost never really works. It almost always just jumps to like 45 kilometers an
Oh,
hour.
that's it. That's you to knock $100 off right there.
Yeah, but it does show, look, it's got a voltmeter. So 63.7 volts is what we're reading, and then it switches to the odometer. It like goes back and forth.
Does it give you any kind of indication of how much battery life?
Yeah,
is
see
left?
the battery icon with the 4 blocks in it? That tells you how much battery you have.
what do you call it?
Running
Running board
board.
thing here.
Yeah. Ping An, I'm told, means safety.
The safety?
Safety.
Oh, that's side intrusion. Oh yeah, well you got to have that. Yeah, that'll pass the pull test. Yeah,
Yeah.
no question.
But it's just not, none of it is as crappy as it
No,
should be.
it's-
For as
it's-
cheap as it is.
I'm totally mystified.
Yeah.
And it comes with a roof rack.
And it came with a very flimsy roof rack, and I added some zip ties for a
probably a
little
good
extra
idea.
support. But it does have a light bar in the front of the roof rack.
Really?
Yeah, look at
How
the
does
light
that
bar.
turn on?
I'll turn it on.
Oh wow! You could scare kangaroos all day with that.
Yeah. Blue
Holy
and
mackerel.
white lights just for fun.
You know, you're really gonna make me feel bad here.
No, it's
Oh, this has got some
that's
magnetic,
right.
and it's rusting on the
And
inside.
yeah, so that is. But I bet
So-
this is the stainless stuff, right?
Yeah, this is stainless.
Yes.
The bolts are steel, and they're plated, but the nuts are austenitic.
They're austenitic nuts.
Yeah, so that means that they'll never rust up. It means that you'll be able to get the thing to pieces if you want to, whenever you want to.
That's good. Yeah, when I run into something, I have to replace it with...
Don't run into anything. It's such a charming little vehicle.
I know. Look at the little grill.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That, to me alone, that'd be done. We should actually have one of these. We should buy one of these things and have it in here just to impress the product design engineers that say, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that, and
Right.
show it to them.
Yeah, you should just roll this thing out anytime they push back on cost. These guys
How long
did
did
it.
it take to get it here?
It took about a month or so, something like
Yeah.
that, from shipping from the time I actually ordered it. And actually getting to America was quicker, and then there was a long wait because I had to get it trucked from where it hit the port to where I am.
How long to charge up the battery?
I think it'll go to full within 4 hours, I think.
4 hours.
I
So
think
it's
from
same as
0 to full.
It's the same as club cars batteries.
I think about like that. I think maybe even a little less. And
So
I-
if you
yeah.
were 23 miles from home,
Yeah.
you could drive to the office,
Yeah, plug
plug
it
it into a 110,
and you would be good.
and by the time the day was over and you wanted to get the hell out, you could jump in
100%.
here and scoot home at 25 miles an hour.
You absolutely could do that. These are like old man cars in China, is what everyone tells me.
Old man cars?
Old, that's what they call them, because like old people who are maybe too old to get a real license in rural areas will buy these, use them to go to the market, pick up kids from school, all that stuff. They're
And
not
I've been to
allowed.
China.
They're not allowed in Shanghai or Beijing or the big cities, and they're only really allowed in the more rural cities. But even those rural cities can have millions of people. The volumes are high. I think they crank out a lot of these, and there's a lot of companies producing extremely similar versions. In fact, some of them look like they have the same body shell, but different other hardware and set up a little bit differently. So I'm wondering if there's like some plant
Yeah.
that's doing the big stampings, and then all these smaller companies are buying
And
them up.
that does happen.
Let's get it up in the lift so you can look underneath
Yeah,
it and see
yeah.
what they're like.
Smallest McPherson struts ever. I mean, that's smaller than what we got on Club Car.
Yeah,
but
and
there's
it's an actual coilover McPherson
yeah,
strut.
it's a McPherson strut. Yeah. So there you go. So you got a beam axle, which the truck guys they don't want to change from that.
Right.
And then we're looking at we're just looking at conventional, old-fashioned Model T kind of construction. So here's your brakes.
Yeah, and look how they work. They're just a rod to this crank
Mechanical
lever.
brakes.
Mechanical, yeah.
Wow. You know,
and
they're
look-
making a big comeback.
Here's the brake light switch, I guess. It's just like a little spring pulling this little switch. I think that's what that is.
Yeah, but see here, look at the take-up.
Oh, yeah. It's just,
It's just a wire. You
Yeah.
pull it through, bend it over, but they didn't twist it or anything else. They didn't want to.
because who cares?
Waste too much time. Yeah, who cares? Here. Well, we would probably do something more than just that. You're basically taking a pin and shifting it through this and shifting into this, and there's nothing on this end. So most engineers, myself included, would be a little nervous about that. So this and this didn't get welded at the right angle, at the same angles.
Oh.
So they had to make it up. So bend this rod, and now they're going to be the same. They don't have to.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
That's
so there
fairly
you go.
elegant. Yeah.
Yeah, elegant it is. But you know what is elegant is this thing right here. Let's go and have a look at.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the
motor
at
assembly.
the motor and diff. And,
Yeah.
And just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. What did you find?
There's some grime from like.
Oh, that's from you riding it off road and
Yeah,
abusing
exactly.
this car. Anyway, this flows so nice. Yeah, it's.
We saw a number on the sticker up on top, I think, before that told what the reduction was.
What the
actually.
reduction was?
Yeah. And this is the little 1.1 horsepower motor. They do make a version with a slightly bigger motor, and I would like to swap this out with something with maybe a
So-
ravenous 5 horsepower one day. What kind of application would a motor like this be otherwise used for?
3,000. What would it be used for? Washing machine?
Oh,
Things
really?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
And they still spin a shaft.
Yeah. Actually, one of the most inventive motors we've seen so far come out of a washing machine. And yeah, they really figured out how to cut the cost on that.
And then the rear suspension, what do we got going on here? We got.
Well, this is, again, this is not a coilover shock. The shock's in the back, and I'm not exactly sure why they just didn't, use both. But this looks very much like a truck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a truck kind of
Solid
style.
axle, yeah.
Solid axle, trailing arm, a spring with a shock on the side.
Everything is kind of like what I would put in an older type of vehicle.
Yeah.
I think this differential. Can fit to lots of different wheelbases.
Yeah.
And I think that what they did was this is kind of like they're buying this, and then putting their own axle in it and welding on the bits and pieces that they need to make their own product. Well, you know what? There's a lot of welding done on here.
Yeah.
And most of it looks like it's hand welded.
Yeah.
And whoever did the job did a good job.
Huh.
Some of it, that one there definitely is so good that I think it's a robot.
Right.
But if you look, you can see there's little tiny
welds.
tiny tack welds.
Yeah.
And then they welded it along here. And based on what I'm feeling, that feels like a manual weld. Oh, this is kind of cool too. So they burned out little edges here.
Oh yeah.
So the water can drain.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So we've got no brakes up front because
Who needs brakes in the front? Really? Come on.
For chumps.
Exactly.
And they got these drums in the rear.
Yeah.
And then I guess this
And
is
drum brakes, you know, they got a bad rap for a long time. Oh, we got to go with discs. But you know what? Now we got the technology. We can make these drum brakes as good as disc brakes.
Really?
Yeah, and they're way cheaper. And you know what?
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Why?
Look, see, if you got bashed into the back here, you see the slot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd want it to be the.
Yeah, and this one's right and that one's wrong. So if you got bumped on this side, you'd have some room to collapse. But if you get on the other side, you're SOL. Oh, now we're finding flaws.
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah.
It's like picky. Like we could be classified as consultants or something. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
Really impressed.
Yeah, this is amazing. Look, Sandy, thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing it down. It's
Yeah.
a long drive, I know, and
worth
I'm
it.
really happy that you shared us a little time with it.
I'm delighted by this thing, so as many people get to see it as possible.
I'm really impressed. Really impressed.
All right.